So are you aware of the Sokal hoax?
Of the which?
Sokal hoax, S-O-K-A-L.
No, I'm not
It was a bogus paper that went through peer review and was accepted and published. Recently, two people in America at the Portland State University, one who's a doctorate in maths and a background in physics, were so alarmed that they published through a peer review paper another hoax. And it's called the Conceptual Penis as a Social Construct. And in that they claim that penises cause climate change. So the point I'm getting at is that that was published in a social sciences, admittedly, paper, but it has credibility because it's been peer-reviewed. So I'm very concerned about some of the peer-reviewed papers. So now we've just gone through the actual publishing of a peer-reviewed paper.
You've quoted two papers. You've then jumped to a general proposition that this means every peer-reviewed paper in the world potentially is subject to some sort of potential for fraud.
Senator Denis, I did not. I said that the peer review process
I'm sorry. You and I have a process going where we've got you talking to CSIRO and all the rest of it. That's all fine. That's all part of the process. But this idea that we can jump from two specific, very specific papers to a general proposition about peer-reviewed scientific findings, we really are in a very Kafkaesque world.
Senator Denis, you're misrepresenting what I said. And I don't know why you're doing that, but that was a misrepresentation.
Well,
I'm saying
please clarify what you mean.
I'm saying there are possibly holes in the scientific peer review process, and I'm looking to see how CSIRO does its scientifically peer review and how it uses. So when, Dr. Clue, you, meaning the CSIRO, cite a peer-reviewed paper, are you confident in the peer review process that the peer reviewers followed?
As I said earlier, the nature of the review process, it's broadly similar across most of the journals that we publish in, but some journals might be different than others. So our confidence in the science is derived by the three steps that I've already described. First of all, an internal review within CSIRO, external review by the journal. We publish in the highest quality journals with rigorous peer review process, and then that information is out there for the broader scientific community to review. So the confidence in our publications that are peer reviewed is built by the rigour of the peer review process for that journal.
Before the officer goes on, the Sokal affair. At the time, the journal to which this paper was submitted did not practice academic peer review, and it did not submit the article for outside expert review by a physicist.
At the time, correct. Well, so my question was, when you cite a peer-reviewed paper, are you confident in the peer-reviewed process that the peer reviewers followed?
Fair question.
Yes.
I need a biscuit.
Fair question.
You are confident. Okay, does the peer review, if you choose to label a reference as peer-reviewed and cited as such, do you always include a disclaimer that peer review is no guarantee of truth?
Are you talking about me personally, Senator
CSIRO.
Roberts?
Senator, maybe
No.
maybe I could take that.
Sure.
We have an internal process. We hold ourselves to the highest calibre of science. I stand behind our scientists. They are some of the best scientists in the world, and the purpose of science is the pursuit of truth.
Exactly.
So CSIRO scientists will present the truth and the data and the facts as best they can. No matter who's funding us, no matter what the outcome is, our mission is to deliver that scientific truth, and we absolutely do it to the best of our ability. So
I accept that. Unfortunately, the UN has not shown the same rigour and has denied peer review in many of its key processes, denied that.
Well, Senator Roberts, I'm not entirely sure whether the CSIRO can apologise on behalf of the UN.
No, I'm not expecting it to, but I'm just saying that peer review. I asked a question.
This is your very last question.
If you choose to label a reference as peer reviewed, do you always include a disclaimer that peer review is no guarantee of the truth? So if you cite such a paper, checked by someone else, peer reviewed by another journal, can you guarantee its truth? Otherwise, you're lending your name to it, and that risks tarnishing the fine name of the CSIRO developed over, 70 years?
So, Senator, we don't put a disclaimer when we present references, but when CSIRO publishes, we're presenting our scientific conclusions.
When you cite an external paper
In the references.
Correct. Do you say that it's It's no guarantee of the truth. Otherwise, you're lending your name to that.
We do not, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. I think that's a very good spot for us to break for morning tea, and we'll resume at 10:45.